Hello, happy Wednesday. It's Daughters of the Sea here, aka Dots. Hey, Bucky and Dimples, welcome.
Peace and love, Sister Freedom, Big Mama in the house.
Peace and love. Peace, Bucky. Peace, Dimples. It's Dulcinea.
Yes, and Nisha will be here shortly. She's running a little behind schedule, but we are excited to have our guest with us tonight. She goes by Master Fundi Fe. I'm gonna let her introduce herself because she can do it best. Okay, so I will defer to you, my love. You have the floor.
Peace and blessings, family. I'm Master Fundi Fe. Um, continental kind of woman. I do. The list is shorter on what I don't do than what I do. So, thank you for having me on the show.
You're welcome. So how we usually do it is we go around and we'll ask you a question, right? And so we're going to ask you a number of questions. I want you to we're going to get into a little bit just about your journey, right? You are a for those of you who don't know, she's a content creator and she can introduce her channel, but she's a content creator on here. That's how we sort of met our paths crossed. That was I don't even know how many years ago. And so our paths cross through something called carbonation, and we're going to get into that. But she's a lot more than that, right? She's an entrepreneur. She's a staple in her community. She has a community garden. She's really big. She has something called Fundy Fe University that I would love for her to get into. Her core audience is women. And so, just like our last guest that we had on here, when she begins to cook, she cooks, right? So, just to get started, hi, Nisha Boo. Just to get started,
Hey, y'all.
if you can just sort of come in when you come in and just talk about your journey, right? Like, where did Master Fundi Fee come from in terms of the master title? And what is it that you stand on? What is it that you teach in your university, online university?
Uh, um, well, to clear up the master part because that does rub some people a little wrong. I am a master of the martial arts. I'm a master of Tai Chi Chuan, Xing Yi Chuan, and Bagua Chuan. I'm a master swordsman. So the master title was earned rather than given, if that makes sense. Uh, you can use it or not use it. It's up to you. I know what I've done, and I make champions. So that's where the master title came from. As far as who is Master Fundi Fee, that depends on the day you catch me. um, I I'm a publisher. You have P Money Inc. I publish books. I am a writer. I'm an author. I'm a coach. I'm a competitor. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a teacher. It depends on what given day. But if anything else, I'm a good student. I'm a really good student, and whatever I put my focus on, I become kind of obsessed with it, and I take 5, 10 year bites out of things. It's not, oh, I'm gonna do this for 6 months. No. So that's Fundi in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. And already you have somebody bronze axe. Is that the creator of Bleachers Brew? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna get into that. Freedom.
Yes, I am here. I am here. I want to know the question that probably everybody wants to know. What made you get interested in carbonation? And how was that? And were you ever in a cult yourself or no? Yes.
Well, I belong to a school called Transitions, is where I learned my martial arts from. And if you asked my mom, I was in a cult. And you
Oh.
couldn't tell her any different. And Master Muhammad was a cult leader, and he had two wives, and you gonna be a third one, and oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
but
I often feel like
it
that too about things.
it didn't turn out that way. It turned out that he was exactly what he said he was. He was a martial arts master, and what he wanted to do was take a woman and build that woman in a way that she could go against men, compete, and win. He
Oh,
told me up front what he wanted to do. He gave me my free will. Is this something that you want to do? Because this is something that I want to make. It's
yeah.
going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And I agreed. And for 5 years, I buckled down. I treated it like a job. It was a whole philosophy that went with it because the Asian martial arts comes with philosophy. It comes with magic. It comes with the theology. It comes with alchemy. And he knew this.
Discipline. Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know what this man knew because he was able to alchemize everything that he wanted in his life. And I just wanted a teacher that lived what he taught and no excuses on why he couldn't or didn't. And I ran into that. Now, people can call it a cult, but I've never known cults to produce champions, not international ones anyway, that even after they leave, they are independent of the school that they were taught from, but
Mm.
still themselves.
So now answer that question about carbonation um and what you and be very honest on what you really think about this man going to jail, and do you really think that he deserved it?
Nature Boy was breaking the law. He was breaking the law. He was breaking moral law. He was breaking spiritual law. He was breaking every law that I've ever known, philosophically, spiritually, and morally. And just just skating the fact that he wasn't breaking man's law because you have to prove that he broke man's law. And I didn't have that proof. What got me was
Mm-hmm.
I personally knew that I had to balance his teaching with the truth.
Mm.
Yes, there was truth in what he was saying.
Right.
It was.
A lot of it, yeah. And
And
control. But
and
but when you say that he was breaking all these rules, what rules? Whose rules? Rules that we not used to. I'm just trying to figure out what rules was he breaking. Just trying to get into the nitty gritty. Be,
the rule there's one rule of magic, and he was a master at glamour magic. He was a master of it.
mm-hmm.
One rule that he was breaking was a subtone to a bigger law. The law says, do what thy will, but the sub law is, and harm none. You can do what you will. You have free will. But within that free will, there are confines. And when you step outside of those confines and you have other people that understand the law, especially when it comes to what we call the flock. An informed minority can control an uninformed majority all day. So
So,
when
mhm.
you have people who know, those people have to take it upon themselves to wrangle the wolves in, so to speak.
So you don't, okay, now, because I saw parts and bits of carbonation and things of that nature. And mostly everybody that came on there was grown, right? Was nobody underage that, and I mean, willingly came to the villages or wherever this man
It
was.
depends. I mean, do you consider 17? Do you consider grooming at 17 underage?
Oh yeah, if you're 17, you're underage. You're under the legal age of 18.
Then yeah, he was breaking the law
Oh yeah, okay.
because according to Velvet, I left for carbonation at 18, but you were talking to him when you went to college, which means you were talking to him in high school. I mean,
Oh,
I
but she
don't
didn't
do
get over there until she was 18.
exactly. Now, I don't do this new math, but I do arithmetic.
Well, according to the law, she would have still been legal enough to go over by her in her own will. She went
at,
over
at,
in her own
at
will,
eighteen.
and most of them. I found those people in that organization to be somewhat lacking of certain things, and they wanted that form of control. I mean, I really seen it what they, as I was looking at it. I didn't know if they talked about it before they put it on film, or if this was happening in real life. And that these people, I'm looking at them like, did they have daddy issues? Did they have issues with a man? For because it wasn't just the women. I could almost see if it was just the women, and it was weirded out. But we talking about men, men
Well,
too, and they always you know doing what they wanted. I mean, even to the day, a lot of them are in defense of this man. And when I was looking at it, I think, somewhat seen, first of all, they must have thought they were stars like some reality show. Then the comfortability in everything that they were doing, like they were comfortable. So I'm trying to figure out. I've been trying to figure out, and I'm just trying to figure out what people that was right on hand and in on hand with this, like you were, like that's what. Now he was a little weird about the little boy situation, his son situation. I thought that was weird, but I'm still trying to figure it out. Like,
okay. Let me see if I can
I
help
think
you
her
with
question.
this.
I think what the first question I heard asked is basically, do you think that the punishment fits the crime?
you do. Maybe I didn't look at it enough.
Well, let me put it this way. Let
That
me see if I can help this. Say you have somebody on stage with a pocket watch. They pull the pocket watch out and it starts dangling from side to side, right? Now the whole of the audience is watching this. And this person stops the pocket watch and says, "When I clap my hands, you're going to bark like a dog."
Oh, so you're saying that he manipulated them?
He claps his hands, and the two people next to you in the audience start barking like a dog, but you don't. Can you blame the two people next to you for having such low constitution of their conscious mind that they would allow somebody that type of access to their subconscious? Is it their fault that they're barking like a dog, and can you hold them accountable for it?
Oh, I can hold them
A
accountable.
little bit
You
funny.
gotta take accountable for your own actions, because that would be insane for someone to not take accountability for their actions. But I was wondering if maybe they had some issues in their life, maybe some problems with their parents, or problems with a man, or just situation, because him himself had issues with his parents. I think it's both his parents was gone or something.
Well, a lot of us have parental issues, but it doesn't make us go to a cult and commit felonious acts.
No, I'm just trying to understand it. That's why I was wondering what you, being right on top of it, thought about it seriously. Seriously thought about it. And like, because I heard the judge when she said, you took advantage of people in somewhat that needed you, in other words, just to sum it up.
He took
And
advantage of the people who were barking like a dog. And when it comes to spirituality, those are the flock. They're easily accessible. And for you to use that against them, kind of like how America uses the psyche of black folk while abusing them at every turn, yet we still cuddle up to the American dream. We still participate in the American system that we understand is against us, but for some reason, we just can't break the spell. It's a microcosm of a macro problem. We suffer, all of us, from the exact same thing that they suffered from. It's a matter of how long are you going to bark like a dog?
okay, okay.
This is what I'm saying. What we don't understand is there are ways that people can psychologically jack you up.
Only if you
And
want
you
that
don't.
to happen.
No, sis, ain't even like that. Because there's some sophisticated things out here that we have not studied that some of us are susceptible to. And it takes us a minute to come up out of it. Now, we can say that everybody is responsible for themselves. Surely. I
Mhm.
agree. And if the person sitting next to me is barking like a dog, I can slap the crap out of them to see if they come back to themselves, or I can leave them right where they are until they come to themselves. But what happens is these were babies that got caught up with a dude that had better tech than they did. They don't even know who they were. And he took advantage.
Did he know who he was? That's what I'm saying. Did he really know who he was?
He knew he was a character that could be sold. That's all you need.
I personally think they were all needing help.
Don't we all?
Um, to some extent, some people are aware and some people aren't. Some people actually live each day knowing what they're doing, and they pick their battles.
But you have to develop that like anything else. You have to develop how to walk. You have to develop how to see. And if people aren't there to help develop you, then some people are just thrown to the wind and they get caught in traps like carbonation.
Yeah. Well,
On
I'm
one hand, I'm very sympathetic. On the
see,
other hand, I want to spank them to death.
I think they all got into it at first thinking it was going to not be the way it ended up. I think they thought it was going to be, because I wasn't there. I'm only going by what I saw. And I think when I was looking at it, I think at first these are kids and they thought it was going to be something fun and they thought it was funny because they put it on live. So they thought it was funny. Like they didn't know that this was actually going to take place. And he daggone sure didn't. Because
Well,
by putting him in jail, by locking him away, they have literally made it appear that this man is some type of messiah with the power mentally to control the minds of other people. So I'm going to lock you away because you got this much control. You have enough strength to manipulate the minds of other people. That's what I kind of like seen. But I also seen that the people that was in his organization wanted it. One thought she could change him to, to do what she wanted him to do. It didn't work. So she left mad, whatever. And the other ones liked it, whatever lifestyle they wanted to live. Like I said, when the women who was a different mindset was going for it, that's one thing. But when the men, I was like, y'all run into this man, picking them up, taking up the steps, doing this, doing whatever he want. I was like, are you serious right now? One of them probably could have beat him up at any time. So that's why I'm like,
yeah, he was around yes men and yes women. So you know what that leads to, right? Like when you surround yourself with nothing but admirers and fans, and when you surround yourself with yes men and yes women, you don't get checked.
they came over there wanting
They'll agree with you until you drop yourself off a cliff. But I do think there's an element, Fundy. Tell me what you think about my statement, okay? Because I do think that there's an element to what, because a lot of the people in this audience are not very familiar with the history of carbonation. Okay, they may have seen bits and pieces of it, but they're not very clear. So looking at this court case, right, looking at the trial and thinking of the charges that he was charged with, okay, so my understanding is that it was a rape charge and it was what was the other charge? Holding you without consent or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Unlawful imprisonment or something like that.
Unlawful imprisonment. Okay. And when I listened to some of the witnesses and I listened to some of the what I was seeing, I was confused because I was confused.
You heard them because they every chance they got a chance to
I was
talk.
wondering whether this was going to be, was this like a trial for polygamy? Was this a trial about, he wasn't monogamous? Was this a trial about he was so bad to me, he was abusive, he was mean, he was all that stuff? And yes, he was all of that stuff. Right? Or was this a trial about rape and false imprisonment? And when someone who does not have the backstory, I'm just saying for me, I was really confused.
Me too.
I also know how Queen Karma works, and that's how I know Karma is a woman. And I have said this many times before, and I'll say it again. That's how I know Karma is a woman.
Oh,
because when Queen Karma comes, she never comes through the person that you may have violated the most. She doesn't always come through the person that you think your karma is going to come back from, right? Queen Karma always come different. She always come late. She always come, dressed in the likeness of someone else. That's how you know Karma's a woman. She takes her time with it. So on one hand, do I think that without a shadow of a doubt, that the state was able to prove that this man raped the victim and held her against her will? No, I'm sorry. If I'm being honest, no, I do not think that the state proved that. Do I think that the trial, and do I think that he got his get back? Do I think he got his lick back from all of the nonsense and the chaos and the dysfunction and the trauma and the abuse, right, that he inflicted? Then yes. But I see it in two very different lanes. Tell me what you think about that. And then we have Dulcie and Nisha on, and so any one of you guys can ask your question after. You have to unmute, Fundy.
Sorry, my bad. The charges were unlawful imprisonment, the grape charge, and 3 counts of uh, a malicious porn, whatever that charge is, right? What what got lost in the mix is those were the charges, right? We They proved that nothing was ever uploaded without Nature Boy's consent. Boom, that's guilty on 3 charges. Done, right? When Nature Boy was talking to the police in the interrogation room, Nature Boy said, and I quote, "She said no." I kept going. Then she said, "Okay." I don't know where anybody understands that right at that no, that he admitted that she said anything thereafter in the eyes of the law is considered grape. Period. Out of his own mouth. It's not a he say, she say. She said she said it. He said she said it. Life. And what I'm wondering about us being conditioned here in America is what type of no means no? Come on, sisters. What type of no means no? Do we have to scream it? Is a whisper enough? I mean, do you have to be running out the house with your hair on fire saying no? What type of no is even good enough for us to say thereafter everything stops? Because at this point, I'm wondering just how much of rape culture are we supporting? And being a woman that teaches the martial arts specifically to women, I find myself teaching after y'all are traumatized from things like this, from situations like this, because there's also a such thing as consensual rape. That women are like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Yeah. You're sitting there, you're at a date, y'all go back to his house. He start pawing at you. He start pulling on your clothes. He start tugging. He start rubbing on you. And you're like, nah, man, I'm good. And he keep doing it. And now he's kissing on you. And you really don't want it. You don't. But in your heart, you understand that if you say no to this man, it might escalate to a really bad situation. So before you even consider no and everything that it could entail, you go ahead and give it to him just to get out of the situation. That is consensual rape. And you didn't never say no. You just gestured no. Because you understand in your psyche what can happen. So you want to get out of there in one piece. So you give in. So I'm asking my sisters, where are we going to draw the line on no?
Well, I agree. If somebody said no and he raped them, I have no other choice but to agree with you when you say, well, I didn't get all into what what went down and all that. I'm just talking about what I seen on them little weird shows at the time that I seen them. They all was just like weird to me. I was like, I can't even tell what's really going down here. So I I don't know.
Well, I know.
Oh, you come,
I
you
know.
go.
I know. I want to be clear.
Be clear, please, Doc.
We're having a conversation, and so I want to be really clear. The charge of rape is real serious. I don't take that as a joke. I want to be real clear.
Weird.
Okay. But I also want to be clear that there also is the character of the person that's alleging what has happened. And like you, Fundy, I too have a digital record.
Facts.
I too know that there's many men behind that G wall, behind in prison right now, serving time on for allegations and charges that brothers didn't do. I have people in my family that have actually went through that. I take it very seriously.
Me too.
Right? But we're having a conversation. So I too know about a digital footprint. And we need to talk about the personality and the character of the people who were alleging this. So as a woman, I don't have daughters, but as a woman, you got to be careful how you move. You got to be real careful how you move. And as a woman, when you stand before the world and you proclaim that I'm for young women, I want them to look at me as the example. I will never mess with nobody in carbonation ever again. I'm standing on a platform for women of domestic violence. I take that very seriously. You get what I'm saying, Fundy? So we got to add a little perspective into the question while I'm asking you these questions. Because we're not just talking about, a woman in a situation with this man that she didn't know or that there was no,
Right.
We're not talking about that. So, yeah, I take it very seriously. And what I want, I know for me, hold on, Dulcie, and then I'll land my plane here. Because one thing I do know, and this is what I told Freedom when we get into this carbonation talk, it gets real weird for me. Because I should never have to qualify that I think that this man is a monster when I'm having a conversation and asking the questions. One doesn't necessarily, it shouldn't have to be a disclaimer. I'm saying that for the audience. I'm saying that for whoever may hear this conversation. But this is real. These things happen. I know, I unfortunately, I know quite a few brothers that are serving time on charges they didn't do. But I also know that the victims that we're talking about in this case, when Freedom is asking about, do you think that they had trauma or do you think something's going on with them? Those things need to be unpacked a little bit because clearly they do. Something's going on. Their digital footprint shows it.
Like I said, the situation with his son was a little weird, but weirdo. So.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get into. And if I don't know, were you following them from the beginning when Velvet was even there and just watching her or anything? And what all do you know of her background story with her parents or anything from there? I definitely have watched a lot that was going on, even her being abused out there and stuff like that. My heart definitely goes out for her. I'm glad that she stuck up for herself at the end. But I definitely can see where there was a lot of trauma for her, and it seems like what she was looking for more in life when she found carbonation, and she didn't know what she was getting herself into. So, Fundy, Master Fundi Fe, if you could go into what you know about Velvet and how everything conspired.
And shout out to Papa Marquez.
Oh, her father. Yeah, and the fact that she didn't change him, it just didn't work.
Velvet is a product of her environment,
Mm-hmm.
and she needs to be held. All of them should be held accountable for everything that they have done. But she will, because she ain't gonna stop having children searching for something that she ain't gonna never find.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good for her, especially since she aided somebody in taking a whole group of people and throwing them off of their own spiritual path because of their own egotism. Yeah, she got something coming to her too. Just
Me.
can't go around. You just can't go around proclaiming what you are, because then, you know, your your holographic universe has to help you either prove it or disprove it. Blood Raina.
Nisha, you have a question?
Um, hmm. Pieces, Fundy. Um,
Peace.
hmm. I'm not quite familiar with the whole situation. I just became abreast of it just recently. Could have been just yesterday because I don't. I guess I don't things of that nature. If I see it pop up, I keep scrolling. Um, what it sounds like, maybe I'm hearing wrong, but it seems to me that it seems to me like sort of like a blame game on everybody. On okay, so Nature Boy, he did what he did, okay, but or at the same time, we are all responsible for how we move. We are all um we choose our path. And I don't get how anybody can take you. You could say that somebody took you off your path, but you allowed for them to do that. You allowed for them to, instead of following the yellow brick road, y'all went off. You know how Dorothy went off? Y'all went off. But who fault is that for real?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Because if you go back and you look again at that yellow brick road, there's also a red brick road.
Mm-hmm.
But because everybody is always follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road, somehow the red road is you blinded. Now tell me before I told you there was also a red brick road that you knew that. Huh? I don't hear nobody. What? What? And you've watched that movie and you've used that analogy all your life, not even knowing that there were two choices there. But you were blinded because nobody told you that there was another path. But go back and watch that movie. Follow the yellow brick road. That's exactly what Nature Boy did. He was a freaking munchkin. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the what? Follow the yellow brick road. And it blinded you to your other choice. That's
Because
why I showed up.
you
I showed up.
How I
I'm sorry, sis, go ahead.
I showed up to make sure that you knew that there was a red brick road too. As a matter of fact, Dorothy, while you're wearing ruby slippers, you might want to follow the red brick road. It kind of matches your shoes.
Mm. Mhm.
my turn yet. Okay. You finished me up until you get done because I got something else you want to say to that.
Oh,
Go
now
ahead.
go ahead. You a little muffled too, sis.
You talking about Fundy?
Oh no, ma'am, you was for a minute, but you good now.
Okay. All right. I'm coming off the back of what Nene just said. All right. I really, really felt like they wanted everything that he was giving them as far as mental. Now, I'm not going to say I like the fact when they was, some of this stuff looked weird to me. I'm going to admit that. But a lot of things that he was giving, see, it wouldn't be so bad is if when the child came, all of them got up there and turned on him. They all got up there in his defense. I think maybe it was one person. If am I wrong, Dots? It was probably only one person that didn't have his defense.
No, it was more than that. But I think I don't want to be an expert with carbon. Listen,
No, I'm just saying. I
no, it
was
was more than one. It was more than one.
The
Fundy,
testimony
you have to understand they don't
that
really know. You know,
turned on
it's a
him.
lot of
So
yeah.
Velvet, Solar, and some other people testified against him. True testified against him. And so True and Solar, those are some of the men that were his like right hand mans. They testified against him.
well,
Velvet
they
testified against him.
yeah,
And I don't know if Naturi came up. I never saw hers or anything. But then there was only two people that testified for him because two of them were kicked out or told they had to leave.
right, because every time they opened their mouth in his defense, you know, they couldn't say nothing. They said something. That lady was
They
going
were acting
straight
a
to the
fool.
mouth.
Some of them were acting a fool.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were
Some of
acting
them
a
were
fool.
acting
They
a
were
fool.
saying stuff that they can't do in court. And they were trying to be like, hey, this is court. You like, this is a form of, I ask a question, you answer it. That's
Yeah,
what happens when you call a witness. And they were like, oh, let me go on this monologue or something. They're like, no, 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 no. That's not what court is. Court is this lawyer is going to ask you a question and you're going to answer it. And then
okay.
it's going to be back and forth.
Yeah,
But they
right.
would want to go into rants and all this other stuff. They
wanted
were
to go
really
into
hurting him.
testimony. They wanted to go into testimony to tell their part. I guess they did, that they weren't going to get able to say. And I can imagine Solar, Velvet, Saint Velvet. I think she said something about she wanted him to be just with her, but she actually had a baby with Solar, didn't she? So I would expect them to go against him. That was his right hand man. His baby mom ended up having a baby by, and another girl that he was messing with in there ended up having a baby by him. So I wouldn't have expected them to say nothing nice about him. That'd have been somewhat like really weird if they did. They actually wanted to start their own like nation thing going on. Like, I don't know. The whole
They
thing
have
just
their own, and you know
But
what?
yeah,
They
that
have
was
their
the
karma
only two
coming.
that went against him,
In my
though.
opinion.
Those
okay.
were the only two.
Yeah, well,
Different
I
other
have a
people.
question for
I don't
Fundy
think
though.
I just want to get finished the one I'm
just to
trying
let
to
you know, as far as
admit.
True, the right hand man, True, he hadn't impregnated or anything or took none of the ladies or anything like
No,
that.
I'm going to finish saying what I was saying. I said I expected Velvet and Solar and Daenerys, I think I was, since they had babies by him. I expected them to go against them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the whole thing was weird. Like I said in the beginning, they all needed to sit down on somebody's couch because for the need that they allowed this young man to fulfill, something was missing or something was wrong. And he himself, by the things that he was saying, uh, needed some help because they just all needed some help, all of them, including him. They all needed to. I don't know what happened in their lives. And did you feel like that, Fundy? Fundy?
I felt like all of them have deeper holes that they need to fill than even therapy by itself will be able to fill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have been so hurt it's almost beyond repair, honestly.
Like I said, what he did with his little boy, or said what he said about his little boy, I thought that was about the weirdest thing that I seen him do through the whole thing. That alone would have got me, if I was a judge, he would have got in some trouble for that. But not only would he probably would have got jail time, I don't know about the time he got, but he would have had to sit on somebody's couch. Like he needed counseling for just that statement alone, because he damn sure didn't explain it. However he meant it, damn sure didn't come out right. So he needed to sit on somebody's couch and get in trouble for that. But people, grown people that make their own decisions, I don't know about that.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, Fundy, and I want to get back to you university real quick with Fundy University.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you mentioned a lot about you often get the women when they come back, that have been through hurt, been through trauma, or what have you, right? And so part of that though, and part of the pathology I see that pops up a lot of the time, like in How to Choose or whatever, is this topic of polygyny or polygamy, right? And I know that you have spoken about that in great lengths, and I know that you teach a lot about it, right? Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, how does that show up? Your experience with women, your classes, what have you.
How polygamy itself shows up?
Polygamy, the issues of polygamy and polygyny, right? Be it the interaction between women, be it how men choose. Do you
Well,
think that it's a solution? Do you think that it works? And you have a lot of back chat, Funny.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When Dot's just asking a question, you might got to go on mute, and then when you're talking about it, I got when people's
Yeah. Okay, I'll go on mute now.
Okay. You know what? There are many pitfalls, and there the 3,000 cuts of polygamy death. Let me talk about successful polygamy. Let me talk about successful polygamy, because that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. First of all, any type of polygamy, and when I say polygamy, I mean polygamy as the umbrella, where polygyny, um, polyandry, and polyfamily, all of those fall under this umbrella. First of all, everybody must be informed. Period. In order to play that game, there has to be 100% disclosure on everybody's part. Everybody has to be at least at least 85% all in, and that's everybody. There can be no secrets. If you are not a serial monogamist, you cannot be a successful polygamist. You can't talk anybody into polygamy. It will not be successful. You cannot talk anybody out of polygamy. It will not be successful. The only way that any polygamous relationship works, and this is the simplest advice I can give anybody: 100% disclosure on all sides. If everybody is not 85% in, everybody should be 100% out. And that's successful. Done. Throw any religion you want behind it. Done.
And what issue do you think, or I want to say issue, but like, what do you see come up time and time again? Like, if there's one thing that you would say, just as a collective, like as women, right, as a divine feminine, right, or working towards that, being your best self, right, finding your purpose, your gifts, your path, like staying on that, because that's hard work. That's a lot of work, and you know that. You know, what would you say would be like the best advice that you could give?
Don't get pregnant until you get in your 30s.
Mm.
Keep, keep your teens and your 20s to your personal selfish refinement. Just be selfish about yourself. Learn yourself without any outside influences except you, and you. Spend 10 good adult years with the best physique that you will ever have in your life, and ride your life like you stole it.
Okay.
Freedom, Dulcie, Nisha, question.
Here I was about to say something. Do you look at polygamy and a man's having a wife, more than one wife? Well, three wives, four wives, can that can be considered a cult?
Yes, sure can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was hoping that you said that it could be considered a cult. That was my question for you. I agree with you. It could be considered a cult.
They're gonna have to have, for that many wives and that with that ratio, they're gonna have to have a system of culture, so to speak, that they're gonna have to abide by, that nobody else is going to have to. Yeah, that you're gonna consider, anybody can sit back and consider them a cult unto themselves.
Even with two. Even with two. I mean, it's the same thing. It could be with two wives.
Same thing.
Yep, same thing. That's why I said people go into these things willingly, and we on the outside looking in, saying we actually on the outside is making their situation even worse because we're looking in. We're seeing that they're listening to this one person, taking rules and regulations. Hell, we can't even do what one man say. But it's just this one man is got it's this us arguing with this one man and causing all kinds of issues and doing what we're doing. But here we got 4, 5, 6 women, three women, or however women, and they bowing down to this man at his beck and call, feeding them, cooking for them, massaging them, giving them baths, doing everything. And then us, we looking in and we saying, this is a cult. But in our reality, it might not be. When we making it a cult, a negative cult. We making it a negative cult on the outside, people looking in. But they happy with what they doing. They probably messing with each other. I don't know what they doing. But whatever they doing, they like it. Because they still like fighting for this man today. But I just wanted to know if you thought it was like that. Because I know if I was living next door to a man that had 3 wives or something like that, I might be like, what the heck's going on over there? And they making like streams on it. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
To me or her?
Oh, to her. I was
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, because all right. Thank you for Fundy. I agree with you.
all right, because I wanted to get into something you were kind of saying, like keeping the 20s and the teens to yourself, because I know, like, even in this carbonation, a lot of times they lump in Nature Boy as if he was as young as his followers when he's like a decade or more older than most of them, because he was older than me, and I'm like almost a decade older than them. So when you're saying keep this time to yourselves, do you think that that's a huge problem, especially with young women, as far as being naive when they get into these situations or these relationships, or what they're seeking for? Or what do you think is the basis? Because other people are saying you guys are waiting too long to actually settle down, and that's a problem. What do you think about that juxtaposition?
We're waiting too long. Black
Well, yeah,
women should wait longer.
turns into the patriarchs of before that would have been married in their 20s, had 13 kids per se.
And those same women taught their granddaughters to stop, don't do that, go get your education, went so far as to put an insurance policy on her own life. And when she left here, she left that insurance policy for those girls to go to college so they wouldn't be in her predicament. You mean that big mama? That one?
Yep, that
That
one.
her? The one that while we were in there making soup told us, you get your education and you be independent and you don't depend on no man. You mean that big mama? Her?
Yep, that one.
And they want us to be like her? Well, I'm fulfilling her dream. I wasn't like her. I wasn't like my grandmother. I didn't have 16 children, stuck with no man while raising all of those children and taking on more children of other men that I took on. No, I didn't have that problem. Not at all. I had a male mentor that told me to refine myself in my 20s, took me to refine me. When a man showed interest in me, he would bring him to me. My teacher questioned that man before I even made a decision to marry him. That man had to go before my teacher and talk to him. To this day, I still don't know what they talked about, but I'm still married to that man. And I spent my 20s refining myself. I did not get pregnant until I was 30 and was well seated in my name, that even if that man that my teacher gave me permission to marry, even if he said, I'm leaving you, bye, and I'll still be Master Fundi Fee when you leave, sir. My children are well cared for, but that did not happen. But if it did, because I took the time to refine myself in my 20s, everything thereafter in my life got real easy because I could stand on my name and not anybody else's name. I didn't have to wait on anybody else. And I thank the men in my life for allowing that to happen. A full human being was born, not just a female, a full human being that could take care of herself, her children, not dependent, but interdependent on others, not dependent, interdependency. That's the key.
Thank you, Nisha.
I was just curious to know about you have a wine business, correct?
Yes, ma'am. It's called Blitch's Brew.
Do you want to cam up and show a few bottles, my love, and talk about how that started and like what's special about it?
Sounds like it.
Sure. Let me go find a couple. Let me go grab some.
Yeah, let's
Her
see what
wine is
that
really good,
drink do.
Nisha. It's really good, and she uses all natural products, like organic products. She uses from her garden because she has a community garden. So it's really good. I have a bottle downstairs in my cabinet that I have yet to open.
Oh, that's nice. If I could bottle, I ain't gonna open it.
I still have that bottle I bought from you. I still haven't opened it. It's about a year old.
Yeah, I would just keep it.
No, I'm gonna drink it.
Yeah.
You know what? You
I'm a
know what?
You have to unmute yourself, Fundy. Unmute.
I'm like, okay, you made a whole speech. Ain't nobody heard it. Hello. This is the Ethiopian Tej. This is a traditional African honey wine that's made with local Houston honey But what makes this so much different is the gasho that I get from Ethiopia that actually ferments this. Clear as a bell. And when I say honey wine, honey wine. This, if you like Tej, masterfundife.com. Then you have things like this: Medusa, the god killer. This is a wild red muscadine sweet wine, because if I can't grow it, I go find it in nature and I forage it. So these are wild grapes. God takes care of these, not me. But again, a beautiful sweet wine dedicated to my girl Medusa, because everybody thinks Medusa got a bad deal. I don't think she did. The slogan on this wine is, when it's time to turn into something else because you got fucked.
Yeah, I know I need that Medusa.
Yeah, I need that one. Yes, Fundy. Yes, yes, yes.
Say that one, Fundy. How much did you
The bottles range between $19 and $45 because we do have infusions.
That's not bad at all. It's not that bad.
We're talking no sulfites, made with alkaline water. Nobody has ever told me that they've had a hangover, no matter how much they've drank. So if you want to get some, get some. We also do what's called personalized wines. Say you're having your 50th birthday and you want a wine all to yourself. Not only can we make that wine for you, but we'll also make a custom label. This was my Fetennial. This was my 50th birthday wine. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the last one left. So I'll be drinking this on my deathbed.
What's the alcohol content?
You better go ahead, girl.
What's the alcohol content?
Okay, the alcohol.
Mute up, because it's back chat when she's talking. You have to mute up, baby.
The alcohol content on the wines sit between 14 and 15%. I have a vodka that's 175 proof. We have moonshine that sits at 100 proof. So it's just about what you can handle.
Oh, so you ain't brought the vodka out. Now you showing you ain't brought the vodka out, sis.
Or the moonshine. Got some beautiful
she went back. She put her thing on. Y'all something. Fundy?
Yes, ma'am. That's how your vodka.
What is that? What is that?
This is how your vodka will come. And this is the blood orange 175 proof. So this is gasoline in a glass. So
I want to say I really love what you're doing. I really do. You're not just like that says. You're not just a YouTube podcaster. You also have your own business, write books. You are an all woman, and that's beautiful. You know what they call a superwoman. She does a lot of things, and I like that. I really do. And our opinions concerning this issue ain't gonna change it one way or the other. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. But I want to say I do like what you're doing. And making the wine. What made you go into making the wine? What made you type of so what made you want to do the wine? And is it in all of
COVID, and people left me to my own devices for a long period of time. And because I grow I didn't have any place that I could go sell anymore because of COVID. So I didn't know exactly what to do with the produce that I had. So I was like, how can I preserve it? And then I was like, well, shoot, let me make some wine. So I made wine, and then I got good at it in a real short period of time. And then, from wine, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to other things. And then you start realizing that, never mind, I'll talk about that somewhere else because, yeah. But, if you can make alcohol, you can make alcohol. And if you can make alcohol, you can make alcohol.
Okay. I want to say to the chat, we have dropped the link. I know y'all got some questions. Okay. So come ask the question. She's willing to talk with people from her experiences that she's had with carbonation and even about her wine, her books, things that she's done, her channel. Come on up and ask the question. And, people going to have their opinions. We can't change it, but, at the same time, we dropped the link. So I'll drop it again.
Right.
Just in case, you can always go to masterfundife.com, and right now there's a 40% off coupon for podcasters called Guilty 5 Counts. No spaces, and 5 is a number. Guilty 5 Counts. You get 40% off your total cart at masterfundife.com.
I'm about to look at it right now.
It was kind of I didn't feel like looking. Go ahead, y'all. Whose turn is it to speak? Dots.
It's my.
I don't think Dulcie had a chance. Did you, Dulcie?
I had asked the question, but I think it went back around. But I don't know. Dots, did you go actually?
Good evening, Sakina. Sakina Muslima.
Well, I don't know if Dots is here as far as it. So I'll ask a question. I'm surprised Sister Freedom hasn't asked this, but do you mind saying your sign when you when you're
It's
born?
not mine. It's not Taurus.
Of course it's Taurus. What do you mean?
Girl, you are lying.
You don't even have your meter. You don't even have your Taurus meter.
Girl, what? When's your birthday? April or May?
I am a classic Taurus. I am April 24th. I am the first day off the cusp.
They're my son's father. My son's father is April 24th. I am April 30th. What? Normally I feel Tauruses. Wow. That's amazing. I did not expect that. So you smacked me with that one.
Yes, I am a classic Taurus. All of it.
Well, I should have known you do like to do a lot of things. Because I write too. I ain't never made no wine though, but I would love to make a perfume. But I'm a writer. Okay.
You've never made a perfume? Can I tell you an easy way to make one?
Yes.
Okay. You go get you some. It can be anywhere between.
Wait a minute, B. We might want to do an unscrambled mind sync, so I'm gonna call you. You can tell me. You can tell me. So we put an unscrambled mind flavor together. Because I've been wanting to put one of them honeysuckle trees in my backyard. And that honeysuckle smell and them good smells like that. Like for now. Yeah. So we gonna talk. As Tauruses, we can talk.
No problem.
What is this Fundy deck? Let me just ask that right quick, because I told you I was checking your site out. What is the Fundy deck? What is that?
The Fundy deck is a handwritten, simplified tarot deck that can be used straight out of the box. It's not art. You don't have to interpret it. The meanings are on the cards. It is perfect for the beginner or somebody that just does not have time to memorize what them frickin' pictures are. Everybody is not left brained. Some people are just right brained and not going to do it. If you're right brained and you just cannot get interpreting tarot, the handwritten Fundy deck is for you. Or if you're just starting and you want to learn the interpretations, it's a good way to do it as well. And how many people have a handwritten tarot deck? Come on. It's not something that's done anymore.
Right. That's okay. So, do you consider yourself a witch?
I am a blitch.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
My girlfriend that I am becoming sisters with, she makes her own tarot decks. She makes her own pendulum boards, the pendulum jewelry that goes with it, everything. You might want to, yeah, you might want to, because I'm with you.
I would love to look her up.
Oh yeah, Senna Moon. She's going to be a guest on our show, hopefully next week. She's a bad girl. I mean, when I say bad, this girl, bad girl. And she did my reading last night.
Wonderful. I'm loving the fact that Black women are coming into their intuition and learning how to sharpen it and use it for their best interest.
Yes, I'm with you on that. It's just, you know what, I was talking to Professor Smalls today, and he brought up voodoo and voodoo, and things of that nature. And I always say, I don't know why we're so open to accept this God and all this here kind of stuff that we can't see. You know what I'm saying? But our arts, we are afraid of. I've literally had people come in my house and go, "Oh, I'm scared to come in. You got statues, you got this," literally scared. And I'm like, what? You don't understand what you're afraid of. We are really conditioned. We are really.
Well, remember, there are people that are barking like dogs all around.
All day long, because I need to know what I love the unseen forces. I do. They guide, protect, and help me. And not without a doubt, I know it. But some people, they'd rather call it something different. Maybe they want to call it God. I don't know what they want to call it, but I love the
Well, I have a question about that. How do you know Fundy, what would you say? What suggestion would you give, right, for a person trying to navigate that? Because there is a lot of stereotypes around that type of spiritual practice, I'll call it that. And like in any like in anything, right? There's good energy and then there's bad energy, right? How do you navigate? How does a person who maybe don't know, how would they know how to navigate that? How do they know if this is good energy, let's just say, or a person that's good versus a person that's not?
actions.
I say look at your results. Look at what results are you getting. And here is where you have to have what I call thinking within thinking. What results am I getting? Like when I was with my teacher, what results am I getting? Am I getting refinement to myself? Am I becoming a better person? Am I getting the results that are mine? Versus, are my results being eaten by somebody else? If your effort Grass does not give its effort to trees, and trees burn deep enough that it doesn't even have to worry about grass.
Mm. You know that's I all and I know Dot's there too.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was going downstairs to get the bottle of wine to show y'all that I still have Fundy's wine. What were you saying?
Mm-mm. What she said was so deep. I don't even know if she want to repeat it, but it was a parable and it was a needed one.
I already know that. I already know Fundy. When Fundy cooks, she cooks. I told you that already. She
Mhm.
had.
She cooking.
This is
She
why she
cooking.
has a
Burn
university. Yeah, man. She goes in. She goes in.
it.
And you can check her out on her YouTube page too. I don't Fundy, would you like to share your YouTube page?
What
And your
she
social
cooking
media
got green
platforms?
peppers and onions in it. She ain't playing. That pot's is smelling good.
It has to come to, are you better? If you're better, keep doing it. If you're worse, change it. And only you have the barometer for that, which is why I have U University. You don't learn anything in U University about Fundy. I got that. That's my thing to do, not yours. Your thing to do is to learn about you, which is why it's called U University. Take this and apply it to you. I guarantee you it goes somewhere. Because the human experience is a common experience. I don't care how unique your cute little snowflake behind is. Snowflakes still follow a pattern of crystallization, even though it is a unique pattern. The pattern is still something that can be formalized, looked at, and said, this will happen at this time. Poof, crystal. Where you are unique, your experience is not. Take this information, apply it to your life. Now, here's the kick. I can make a complete humanitarian or I can make a complete charlatan. But that ain't got nothing to do with me. That has to do with you and how you use the information. You're supposed to use it. But let it not be said that how you use it is how you will be judged.
I'm gonna be coming up.
Yeah, man. Listen, she dropped the link. I don't know, it's going on 10:30. So if you guys would like to ask her a question, now is your time to hit the link. Okay, I put her website already in the chat 2 times so that all of her products can be found on her website, www.fundife.com. Did I get that right, Fundi?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Yes, I put that in the chat twice. Nisha, Dulcie, any more questions?
Yeah, I had a question. I wanted to know, like, can you tell us some names of your courses or some things that like are your fundamental? What would a freshman need to learn as far as like when coming through your university?
Okay. Coming through the university, I think one of the first things that you need to learn is mind hacks. There are 8 major mind hacks, 8 of them, and every woman should be completely, when I say completely familiar with these mind hacks, I mean familiar. Just so you can peep game. If nothing else, you can peep game. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'll give you a couple of them. You ready for a couple of them? I'm gonna give you a couple of them. Scarcity. Anytime anybody tells you there's a limited number of anything, you look at them funny. Because this life is supposed to be abundant. It's not supposed to be any scarcity. That's a mind hack. And especially one that is used in advertisement of goods that you don't need. Reciprocity. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. Okay, that's fine, but don't be the first person to go. Whoever goes first runs the risk of being dumped. Be the one that goes second. Be the one that goes second and see what happens. How about social proof? See, if you're smart, you'll understand what I'm saying. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. That is a mind hack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if why you angry, sir? Please do not try to depict my mood. You're projecting. What do you want? That is a mind hack. How about likings? A lot of y'all love stimulation, compliments, to be associated with a particular group, having honeypottings. Honeypots is when somebody wants something from you, but they put something that you like in front of you first to persuade you to do it. That's a mind hack. There are 8 of them. You must learn these for your own sake. And shoot, you want to get what you want? Learn to use them.
Thank you. Thank you very much for just that small bit. I hope people caught what she was saying. Let me ask you something. How can you tell if you got bad? Okay, I almost know what the answer is because, like I said, I deal in some of the same thing. But if somebody says that there's bad energy because someone came in your life and now someone's in your life and all of a sudden, all this negativity from everywhere. At first you was on top, new person comes in your life and everything just goes bad. How do you perceive that?
You wanting to take on undue tests to see how much you can put on your back and still rise? Right? Not the answer you were expecting, right?
Well, but you know what? Not really, but I can see what you're saying. That's that old thing about God only put on you what you can handle or something. I don't know, but I probably don't look at it that way. But I do see what you're saying. But energy is everything. And if someone new came in my life, right? And ever since they've been in my life, I could just see everything I built being broke down. I would think that person either got a bad spell on them or bad energy, and now it's falling on me. Or they put it on me.
I see it differently, Freedom. You know how I would see it? I would see it that's what you resonated. So whatever you're attracting to you is a reflection of who you are in that moment. So in my opinion, that's something that you need to work on. That will be something that, so whatever, if you're
experiencing that, I'm just saying.
No, wait, I'm just giving you my thinking of it, like the question that you asked, that's how I would see it. I wouldn't even put it, that's giving too much power to another person.
What you're saying is you think that the person conjured and pulled their energy, because you can bring things to you from your energy. Your energy is you can have a feeling, look at the phone, and you just told the phone to ring, and the person could be on the phone, like type thing. So are you saying that you feel as though a person can conjure up their own badness?
I think that I am the person that ultimately it's me, right? Ultimately it's me.
Okay. I'm listening. Are you saying that you
Like, so basically, so
person that
if in a
you
moment, if I am attract, right, so like I see what you, so like if I'm attracting a person into my life that's not good for me, that is turning my life upside down, first of all, I done gave them too much power to even do that.
absolutely.
And that is a reflection of the state that I'm in that very moment. And
But
I
what
would
is
question myself, and I would say, what is it about me that I need to fix, that I would even attract that kind of person to me, that I would even allow that type of energy to come into my life, that I would open myself
sorry.
to
What
that
is
type of energy. Does that make sense?
in a sense, but what if somebody or several people keep telling you and saying to you, you don't see what's going on, and you got your blinders on because you want to keep on doing what you're doing. But this new person that came in your life has actually destroyed your life. And no matter what you do, and no matter how many people tell you, no matter how many people tell you, you still want to deal with what's probably bringing the bad energy to you. Because if you are bringing it yourself, that would have been happened to you if you were doing it.
But you are. And that's the
Right.
whole thing of U University. There's a course called the 5 W's and the 1 H. And here is where you have to ask yourself, you have to ask yourself, why?
Right.
Why did you bring this into your life if your life was so stable?
Right. Gotcha.
If it was stable and you wanted it, here's where accountability comes in. And you wanted your life to stay stable, you would let go of the thing that is making your life unstable. So that becomes a who.
That becomes your
Now,
fault. Accountability.
now that you know what the who is, you know what you've answered, why you've done this. Now the question becomes, when are you going to resolve it?
Right.
Who, what, where, when, how, and why? Those
Yeah.
should always be questions that you ask yourself and not outside of yourself. It is never their fault. Never.
Okay.
You brought that in. So you got to fix that. You.
I agree with you. Right, because the people keep telling you, you keep on doing the same thing over and over. So you have to take accountability for it. Yes, you're correct. I agree with that on many counts. Like, wow, how bad energy could actually walk in your life and could feel so good to you, but it's destroying your life. And every other energy around you is telling you that that particular energy is killing everything, and you keep wanting to deal with that energy. Yes, we have to take responsibility. That is you.
And you know what? It's okay to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight for a time. For a
Oh, that was
time.
nice. That was nice.
I don't know about that. I know you have it written for why you're saying it.
There comes a time when you have to dance with the reason why you allow the devil, bad energy, bad people, bad situations into your life. We act like life isn't supposed to challenge us. You ask the universe for something, it gives you a test to see if that's what you really want. I really want this stable life. Oh, do you? In walks your honeypot. Remember, I talked about that in the 8 mind hacks. In walks your honeypot. Now, your honeypot, this thing that has attracted you, destabilizes your life. But you told the universe you wanted a stable life. Here's your test. Can you get rid of the honeypot and restable your life? Or is what you ask the universe for something foolish that even you aren't willing to sacrifice for?
Right.
Ouch.
You're right. Mm. And the one coming up? Ask the
No, no, but they're liking the conversation. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Please do that. You can follow her on all social platforms. Again, all of her products can be found on www.fundife.com. I'll write it again in the chat. Freedom, can you, when I write it, can you pin it, please?
Masterfundife.com.
Oh, Master Fundi. Let me write that over.
Yes, ma'am.
Oops, but I done hit Lord. I hit with. Okay.
No, I'm gonna rewrite it and then just pin it. Okay.
You and this is another reason why I say we as women
Oh, you talking
need to spend our upper teens and our 20s just focusing on ourselves, because we have to understand that we are a resource. We're a resource, even just naked by ourselves. We are a resource. Anything anybody gives us, we refine, multiply, and spit back out. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's our nature. And before you go willy nilly giving that away to people, mainly men, maybe you should know your power before you go lending that to a legacy. And that's learning the game. Because little black girls, come on, think about how you got in your, before you even knew who you were. The violations that were done to us, mind, body, and spirit. What can you imagine a little black girl given a chance to come into her own by herself without any outside influence on her own mind? What if you were never messed with?
Mm.
What if your confidence was never shaken? What if you were never told to question yourself? What if you spent your teens and your 20s following your dream instead of, and mind you, know that I have a sacred place for motherhood. But what if you as a woman individually had the chance in your late teens, your early and late 20s to just be yourself without worrying about children, boyfriends, husbands, mom, dad, just to develop you by yourself? What would you be now if you had that opportunity?
So do you think having kids is overrated?
I think is overrated until it's time for you to have children. But I personally, and let me put that, I personally do not believe that we should be having children until we're in our 30s. But that is just my personal belief. And let me put this disclaimer out there. Let me tell you why. Because it gives you an opportunity to again learn who you are without being responsible for another life. Because when women become responsible for life, she tends to put herself to the side and sacrifice a thing that she hasn't even developed yet. So even when that child gets to be 18 and they leave the house, she's stuck. Because wherever you were when you began to develop that child is where you go right back to when they leave. And you have to develop yourself up to where you are. So once people, I have empty nest syndrome. That's exactly what it's called. Because now you don't know what to do with yourself. Now imagine if you had children in your 30s and you spent your 20s doing something that you love to do. Once your children left your house, you don't have empty nest syndrome. You go right back to doing those things that you love to do as an adult. But again, that's my philosophy. You ain't gonna find that in nobody's book. That's just my observation of us. And I take full responsibility for my observation.
Wow. Yeah. Well, listen, if there's no more questions for our wonderful guest, you know I love you, Fundy, right? I mean, we've known each other for quite a long time. And the one thing that resonates me to people is like I talk. Well, I don't know. Some of you have heard me talk about this, right? Is a person's consistency and whatever it is that they're doing, because that shows character. And so we met how we met on social media. And so this is why I wanted to have her on and introduce her to you guys, to our audience, for this very reason. And you could find her on all social media platforms, Master Fundi Fe. She goes you still go live every day?
Yes, ma'am. I still go live every day.
Do you mind telling them like around what time? Do you give out, before the close out?
I can go live from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Yeah, she goes in. You definitely do. You definitely do. Oh, but before you leave, talk to me about your community garden, please, just real quickly. Real quickly. I don't want to keep you much longer, but talk to me if you can. Just tell us about your community garden, how you got that started, why you got that started, and what it is today.
Fees Eden is the name of the community garden. I got the community garden because I live in a food desert in the middle of Houston. I live in a food desert. So what I did was I asked my YouTube constituency if they would begin. What we started doing is I began by putting free gardens into people's backyards. And my YouTube constituency came through and helped me do that. Then I didn't have an adequate car, so my debate with Nature Boy, which sparked a whole nother type of controversy, helped me,
Lord, I
right?
remember.
The right helped me get the Fee-mobile, which is a much better truck to help me put the gardens in. Then we began a campaign of getting the black apple trees for Fees Eden, and right now we own 5 of the 7 black apple trees in America. So y'all, yeah, I'm gonna bring the
Wow.
black apple tree back. Um, and it has continued to this day. Still a community garden where people can come and pick greens, collards, bok choy. The babies left today because they were feather pollinating the pear trees. We have an apple tree that has 5 different types of apple on it that the babies also came out and hand pollinated. So trying to make sure, Fees Eden just tries to make sure that the next generation, our generation, and the generation behind us still get good, real food. You cannot develop a mind unless it has proper nutrition.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I did not know that Houston had a food desert. I did not know that.
Houston has several food deserts, and most of them are smack dab in the middle of Black communities.
I did not know that. Wow. Wow. So you guys see why I invited her, right? Yeah, y'all getting to know a little bit of my people.
Absolutely. And I really
Yeah,
enjoy it.
so hopefully y'all getting to know a little bit more about Dots by some of the guests that we're having on. She's very multifaceted. She always makes my heart smile. And when she speaks, she definitely makes a room silent. And not everyone has that ability to do so. So she's definitely this is her, as y'all can tell, this is her purpose. This is her passion. This is her gift. And I'm just so happy that you came and you gave us your time. I always say time is the most valuable currency. You can't get it back, right? You can't get a coupon on your time back. You can't get a discount on your time back. You can't get a refund on your time back. And you would hope that the time that you spend, is worthwhile, you know? And so I thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you.
This was my pleasure. And anytime. Thank y'all for the questions and accepting the answers and the dialogue. I don't go anywhere where I don't learn. And thank y'all for learning me up a few things on your perspective. So thank you so much. Time well spent. And I hope that my opinion was just as easily accepted. So thank you so much.
And you should
We
know
thank
how
you.
Dots, yes. And you should know how Dots is, right? You know how Dots is. You know how Dots is. I stand on my square all day long. That's all I know how to do. But especially when we get into that carbonation talk, it brings in a certain energy. It really does, right? And it's heavy. And it also carries a lot of trauma. And it's trauma that a lot of us can relate to. And I think that's the reason why so many of us was captivated and started following the goings on of this nut job. You know what I mean? And I always my position with him is that's how I'm gonna say it again. That's how I know Karma is a woman, and I call her Queen Karma, right? Because she's patient and Karma, and you guys know how Karma work, right? To my cousins in the chat, y'all already know how Karma gives it up, right? She never comes back. You think that you do wrong to a person, and you don't hurt this person, or you don't did this person real foul, right? But your karma never comes back in the form of that person. Your karma never comes back how you think it's gonna come back, and that's the worst kind of karma to get. It's the kind that make you think that you good, that for 5 years, for 6 years, you can go out and you could violate people, you could hurt people, you could traumatize, you could take people's heart, mind, soul, play with it, and then turn it into something that we know you're not. We know you're delusional, you're dysfunctional. You know what I mean? Like you multiple personalities. We know there's mental illness going on. But unfortunately, not everybody was raised on game like I was. I always say that to you guys. And I don't know if y'all know what I mean when I say raised on game, but y'all can take it however y'all want to take that. But I was raised on game by the best of them. And I got to realize not everybody was given that gift. You understand? Like it's a certain level of street smarts that I couldn't learn in my university when I had to be on code, right? And knowing how to code switch and play the game real well. But those are the things you can't learn in a classroom. And
No,
unfortunately, a lot of our younger sisters and even shoot, people older than us, they still don't. They still may not get it, But
well,
it is
that's
what
when
it
you
is.
were saying something about karma, and you said something about somebody bringing something on themselves. You know what? Sometimes you're punished for things you forgot about. So I gotta agree with you on that. Sometimes you do things you think you got away with, and here come Karma and her twin sister Dharma. You
Right.
know, so you might be getting punished for something else. You know what I mean? But you still getting the punishment. You thought it was over. So I
But
get
do
what you.
we really ever forget though? For real, we know what we did.
Yeah, but you don't be
Mm.
thinking about it. So you do be thinking you got over and thinking you forgot about it. This is like stealing something, and then years go by and you forgot you stole that, and now somebody just stole something from you. And sometimes your kids or whatever can get your punishment too.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. Fundy, what you think?
I've seen it happen.
I think that's why there are covenants on being married, and there's a reason that the marital bed is baptized. So take that how you want, because here is where I become controversial, and here's where people might not like me.
I'm
But that's why we have you on. That's why we have you on. We want to go ahead, be a little controversial. Because that's a good question. Nisha asks, do you think somebody really forgets? Can somebody really forget the bad that they did?
Well, there's a right and wrong way to do a lot of things. And we always think that, because we don't understand why tradition is the way it is, we forget about tradition. But there I don't know a culture where the covenant between a man and a woman isn't sanctioned, sacred, and ritualized. And if that is the case, then there must be something to that union that covets that child born in that union, where that union was ritualized, sanctioned, and sacred. So yeah, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say, there are blessings that go with the covenant of a child born in wedlock versus outside of it. And again, that's personal. There's a way to do everything, and can a blessing be put on a child that was born outside of wedlock? Sure, but there is a special blessing. There's a special covenant that goes with that protocol.
with commitment.
See, that's why I don't think that a child. See, I don't believe in. I don't think that a child could get their parents um um anything passed down to them, their karma. I don't think that at all. It's
I'm
not,
telling you it can happen.
ma'am.
I'm telling you it can happen. I've seen it with my own eyes. Happen even to me.
Okay. So you think maybe that's why babies die?
No, I'm not saying that deep. I'm not going that deep with it. I'm saying something I did. I see my daughter getting it happening to her now. Like it's like instead of something happening to me, it's happening to her. But it was something I did. So I know that I'm looking right at it and I'm saying, damn, I'm watching this happen to my daughter. And I know I did that same thing. So now it's happening to her. So I'm telling you that it can.
Do you agree with that, Fundy? What
But
is your stance on
it's
that? Do you
very-
think that a child can inherit or get right? Right. Do you think that things like that can get passed down to the child?
Yes. And blessings to be
I
passed
didn't hear
up.
you, Fundy. I'm sorry. You're breaking up.
I said yes, and I believe blessings can be passed up, which is why life should be handled in a sacred manner. Yeah. Yes, all of it. Yep.
Telling you, I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. You know why I say that, Nisha? Because just like children inherit personality traits from their parents, right? Um Mental illness can be passed down, right? Those are all genetics. A lot that can be genetics. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that the child experienced from the environment. It could be something inherited, right? And considering that everything is energy, absolutely. How even the types of things that go on when a child is in utero, right? When a child is growing inside of the mother, the same way what a woman eats, what she takes in, her thoughts, right? All
Mm,
of that impacts the development of the child.
or do.
But I don't think, okay, now I think that really plays upon your belief system more than anything. And
Mm.
I don't think that your D's, I get genetics. I get that. I get like what a mother eats goes. I understand that if you do drugs, it could, you know, your baby could come out addicted. I get that part. But as far as in your deeds, I don't see it being passed on. And like I said, I believe that it's based on your belief system.
Why it's still you? Your child is you.
Well, well, yeah, I'm with Nisha on this. I mean, like, what you may see as karma playing out that's similar is this, that she has a similar personality to you. So, or he has a similar personality.
It's
So where
you.
you fall and bump your butt because a hard head makes a soft, you know, it's gonna be similar to your child because they're like you, but it's not your karma. It's not
No,
something that you did that's playing out on them. Is that they just so much like you that they gonna end up bumping their heads in the same way sometimes.
no. Y'all are saying it too small. I'm actually watching this happen. So, I mean, I could see if I wasn't watching it, but I'm watching it happen. In the same way my mom felt about something I did that was wrong, it's the same thing that's happening to my daughter. And actually, my mom is doing it. In the same way she was mad with me and in defense of who I was doing it to, now I'm in defense of my daughter towards my mom. So I'm telling you, it does happen. And I can even remember saying to my kids, and I'm skipping the subject, like, okay, same thing done to me, already done to you. And I'm telling you, it do. It can come back. It can come back. That's why, I mean, everybody has their own beliefs, and I might be a little bit more mystical, but I'm actually watching the one situation happen. I know what I did.
I understand, sis, what you saying. I do understand it, but I don't think it's karma because I remember, you know, you hear the old people saying, "Oh, the same way you treated your mama, your daughter gonna treat you the same way."
I said that
But
too.
Right.
but
That's
that's
happening.
what it is. But that's not. I don't believe that's
That's
karma.
not your karma coming back.
That's
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
separate entities, anyway. It's two separate entities. And yes, I'm watching my daughter. My daughter, I had two daughters that did they dirt. And now I'm watching my granddaughters do the same things with my daughters. But
Yeah.
that's not what I was talking about when I was talking about the with my daughter. But yeah, that's true too though. It do happen. You
Yeah,
disrespect.
I believe in that portion. I don't believe in the karma thing. I think everybody has their own karma. I don't believe it's passed down or anything. You have to adhere to the things that you've done, and if someone's adhered to something, I wouldn't think it's me because of me, because I'd be like, maybe it's something that they done I don't know about. You don't always know. You don't. The kids, whatever, they ain't
Right.
always telling you everything
Separate
that
to
they
your
did.
opinion. I ain't
So
got
yeah,
nothing to
you
do
can
with
feel
that.
guilty, like, oh, it's passed down because of me. but I just don't feel like karma's passed down. Trauma's passed down. Some other things can be passed down that need to be broken, but karma, like I did something now, it can affect my son. I don't believe in that. I think that is a belief.
Until you see it happening. Until you see it happening. So what I'm saying is, I'm actually seeing now that Nisha's saying that, I see that too. And sometimes I feel like, shoot, I ain't even got to do nothing but your smart mouth, because when my daughters do something now, I don't even got to say nothing. Because girl, everything you did to me already done to you. Girl. Girl ain't got to argue enough. I just gotta hang that phone up.
But you know what, freedom, and that's where, to everyone's point, because right, we all have our own personal opinions on it, and that's fine. But that's where I think that's where the power comes in at, right? So back to the I, that's where the accountability, that's where
Yeah.
the readjustment, that's where the humility, that's where the ego checks kind of come in, right? To say, you know what, okay, I'm seeing, I'm seeing this. I know this. This is familiar. All right. And if I'm trying to change and I'm trying to heal and da 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 da, da, all right. So, what is the lesson that I need to learn from this? And especially if this is my child and she or he is an extension of me, there's an opportunity for me to do a recheck and get it right.
Yeah, but when you're
You know what I'm
doing it to
saying?
your child yourself, you don't look at it that way. But when you get older and you seeing it happen to your child, you saying, damn. But when these kids is being disrespectful and doing what they doing and all this here and this stuff, you don't think of it that way. Because I know I didn't think of it. I didn't think at the time when I was being disrespectful and being all smart at the mouth and everything and talking back and showing my behind in school. Hell, it will even go to your listen. My youngest, my granddaughter that's 6. If she ain't me, what? Her mom getting called every day from school. So I'm just saying, it just I'm looking at it. So I'm just saying, damn. So I mean,
And you
it's
can heal that. And that can
call that
change, right?
karma. I ain't calling that karma. I'm just saying that's me right there.
Like you see
Okay,
the
I was confused. I'm like, but none of
I
this is
wasn't calling that karma. I'm just looking at it
okay.
and saying, damn, Zyla that is her grandma Gail. That's me.
Are you into astrology? Fundy, what is your
You
take on astrology? Real
sides
quick. I know I'm like, we're gonna let you go. Um, 5 more
or
minutes. Is that okay?
and or even numerology.
Oh, yeah, I believe in astrology. But I think people make one major problem. There's one major problem that we don't even understand is a major problem. Everybody wants to go with their natal chart. Okay, your natal chart is when you were born. That's what the stars look like when you were born. That's your first year of life. Most people do not stay where they were born. You move and you move across the planet.
Yeah.
So as you move, you need to have another chart done to where you are. Because once you move, that becomes a little invalid because you're not under those stars in that configuration anymore. So people are going, you 50 years old talking about my natal chart says that was in
When
1972.
when you go by the other one every year, I mean, like every year you should check it.
You should have it checked once. It should be checked once a year if you have it. If you have moved, it should be done on that move. If you haven't moved, once every 3 years is fine. That's a good checkup. But if you move, you need another chart done. And you can get that chart done at masterfundife.com. I also do handwritten charts, so you can mount those on the wall.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to introduce you to Cinnamon. Can't wait. You're gonna love her. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you another thing. You and her are really going to get along because Cancers most of the time are our best friends.
This is true. They're they're whimsical enough to deal with our stubbornness.
Mhm. Yeah.
Lord, ain't that the truth?
Dulcinea. Oh, let me tell you something. Dulcinea is like the Nisha. You know, it's Nisha. It get on Nisha nerves so bad. But Dulcinea is like our resident person. That's like, she calms the waters a lot, like with her voice. You know. So, oh, she's shady as hell. Don't get me wrong, Fundy. You know, them Cancers. She'll shade the mess out of you. Okay, and you don't even know it. But she's really good. She'll be like, well, I understand what he's saying, or I know what she's saying. What they're saying is, so they're really when that stubbornness factor, right? Well, that she's really good at that.
Well, I'm saying it because me and my best friend, which is a Cancer, has been best friends since she was 11 or 12, and I was like 15. And we are today, I ain't going to tell it the ages, but we are still best friends. Like, still best friends. Closer than my own sisters. We are close, well, close as my own sisters, if not closer. Yes.
Would you be interested in coming back on? Because we wanted to do a show
I'd
with
love to have
astrology.
center on together. I
Yeah,
mean,
or numerology, that
I would
thing.
love to have them on together. I would love it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
I would absolutely love to. It would be my honor.
We will love
Yes,
that.
I personally think that, yes, you had your own show. Seneca have her own show with us. But the epic show would be for y'all to be on together. That would be remarkable. Y'all have to meet. Have to. So I'm going to get your phone number from Dots. Is that okay? Or she can give
That's just fine. That's wonderful. No problem.
you mine because I'm going to link y'all. So, get conversate.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know I'm looking at the comments in it from our audience or whatever. They definitely have enjoyed the conversation. Um, thank you, thank you, Fundy. Appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you too. And I really appreciate you. You know why, Taurus sister.
I just put my number in the back chat, so feel free.
Okay, wait a minute. You know how I do this.
I'll
Hold on.
give it to you. I'll give it to you, Freedom.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
Um, yeah,
Nisha,
thank you.
Dulcie, anything else before we let her go?
No, I just think
No,
I'm the
thank
only
you
one on
so
this
much.
panel that don't believe in astrology.
You don't believe in astrology either?
You
You
know
know
that
that,
already.
Freedom. You know
Girl,
that.
you were sure enough. Ain't no listen. She's a sure enough Scorpio. I'm sorry. She's a stinger to the point of no return.
That's not a stinger, and all Scorpios are not created the same. It's so much more than an astrology chart and this, that, and the other. I just don't get
The
it.
ones who don't believe don't. What my grandmother always say: a person that don't believe won't inherit what is supposed to what they're supposed to get. In other words, she's saying, don't. It's like you. It's like you just. I don't know. I don't know the word they use for it. Okay.
You can't think of a word for me.
You know what I call you. I call you the
Yeah,
stagger.
I don't quite believe in the astrology part, but I understand that it's based on astronomy, like Professor James Small was saying earlier. There's a basis for this. There's a science. There's a math to this. So I,
Definite
of
science.
course, yeah, I'm with Nisha that people take it too far. All people aren't the same. I tell you that all the time. That a Taurus isn't just a Taurus. And I know you'll be like, oh well, she's this, she's that. I'm like, no, I don't see them all the same. Like everybody's
No,
different.
well,
Everybody
uh,
is in their individual package. But I do see it as something. Astronomy is just real. So you can say retrograde ain't real, but then till you're going through retrograde. So it is stuff that's happening, like mathematically, scientifically, and spiritually. But I ain't into it as far as to be like, oh, you can read my day to day. and tell me what I'm about to go to. I don't read Natty.
I don't know what you two believe in, but
You should all the time, you know.
no, I'm going to tell. I told Dustin there this, and y'all can believe in what you want to believe in. I have no problem with that. But there's a lot of similarities with a Taurus. There is a lot of similarities with you Cancers. There's a lot of similarities with you Virgos. And there's definitely a lot of similarities with you darn Scorpios. But me and Dulcinea, from the time we met, we have been entwined. She's a Cancer, Fundy. Fundy. Am I saying it right? She's a Cancer.
Fundy, you were right the first time.
Yes, she is a Cancer. And like I said, and me and Senna, from the time we met, we talk almost every day. So I'm just saying, you might not think so, Dustin. I don't know, maybe because you don't want to, but you have I always tell you and Brooke, don't I? Always say that you and Brooke, because there's a lot, but not everything, because you're your own individual person. I think Fundy said that you are individuals, but what was that? How you said that when you first
Yeah,
came up?
that's why I'm saying
You're
I'm big.
individuals, but you have a lot of,
So
but there's
use
there's
little
a lot of
Cancer. I'm July Cancer. I'm big Cancer. I'm the big spoon. They're the little spoon. But like, yeah, so I understand I'm a
I
Cancer
know big
through and
spoon.
through.
You
But
was
like, I
Freedom,
just
why
was
are you
like,
feeding into it?
Right.
Why
I
are you
don't know
feeding
how I feel
into
in
it?
it. I didn't expect the little one, the big spoon to come along.
You know it was coming. You should know it was
because
coming.
I'm
But
July. I was born in
Fundy,
the best month of the year. But anyway, I definitely say that
did I say something?
cancers are definitely cancers. So I agree with that, and I agree there's definitely something you can learn and charts and different things. I just think some people get manipulated with the wrong people. Just like Master Fundi was kind of alluding to, like you're still doing natal charts or anything because you don't understand the science. So there's a lot of people that don't really understand the science, don't understand the math, and they teaching something, and it's like, no, you gonna lead these people astray into astrology because you don't even understand it really yourself. You just think you can just
Me
take your
or
birth
somebody
chart
else?
and
Me or
right.
somebody
Oh,
else?
she's speaking in general.
Not you, Freedom. Not
You know
you.
that 12 doors that you got to walk through.
Not
That
But
you,
I'm
babe.
talking about, yeah, people in general, and like there's so many websites that are like astrology.com, astrology stars, learn your stars. Oh, put this
it's the
in or
reason
whatever.
why.
Oh, you're not
The
gonna work
reason
if it's this. Like my best friend's an Aries. Like
why.
that's not supposed to be a thing, but that's my best friend since I was 13 is an Aries.
So who wrote all these books? That's what I be wanting to know. Who and what book you gonna follow? And do you just sit down and meditate and get it from the universe or your God or I mean, how do you pick and choose? There's so many different charts and houses and the sun time and the moon time and whew, it's a lot.
Well, we got to let Fundi go.
Oh,
Do you want to
okay.
close out, sister? You want to close out? And um, we were so glad to have you on. It was a good experience.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
And again, y'all can find her on all social media platforms. Okay, Fundy Fee. But you can find all of her delicious. When I listen, I know I bought, and I wouldn't lie. Okay, y'all, delicious wine at masterfundife.com. You can find all of the products that she made. She's an entrepreneur, so please let's support. We'll definitely have her back. She's gracious enough to come back. Um, Her name is Master Fundi Fee. It's the title that's been earned, not given. We do have a lot of people out here who go by the name of Master, but it's a title that's been high. One of them being the Nature Boy character that we were talking about, how he was going by Master. No, this is a title that's earned, right? She puts in work. It's consistent. So again, www.masterfundifee.com, and we'll have her back. We'll have her back. So thank you again, my love. I appreciate your time. Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank y'all so
Calling
much.
looking for my call one day this week. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be looking forward to it.
Okay.
Peace, sister. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yes, it was awesome.
Yes, I like it. And everybody, so that is it. We will not drag on tonight.
No, but I want my question
Oh, I'm
answered.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Nene.
I need to know who write all these books. Where do y'all get the information from? Do you sit and meditate and it just usah come to you? What's going on?
Well, we gotta talk about that at another time because I don't even know if I want to put my books out there because they might start thinking I'm different.
I always say it's different. It's different people, and you got to kind of explore for yourself. But I would
Yeah,
go
but
with
you might
like the
be.
Farmer's Almanac and different things where it's practical. Like if it ain't practical, I don't see where you want to start there. So start with moon cycles, different things like that, and then work your way up as far. That's where
Mm,
I would. That's where I've always started.
that's one of the books. I read different books, and Nene at another time privately I'll show you the books that I am into.
Mm.
But it's books on manifest different situations and everything.
So if everybody got a book, there you go.
Right. But there are some books like when she was talking about the 8 archetypes or whatever that every woman should know about. I was reminded of like Robert Greene, The Art of
Mm.
Seduction, and 48 Laws of Power,
Mm.
different things like that. So, I
Mhm.
mean, don't take it like the Bible or anything like that, but a lot of the stuff is true with seducing, manipulation, just human nature. So, there's
But
something.
yeah, I can't. I get that, and I know those books, but I can't make no.
Everything ain't for everybody.
No.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like everything ain't for everybody. You have to
Oh,
be a person that really wants certain things and is into certain things to grasp it. You know, if you're not into it, it's not your bag. It just won't it ain't you. But if you're a person that's always seeking and looking and accepting that there is worlds beyond this world, and I'm saying mental, physical energy behind what we see and touch, that we manifest, realizing that you're a part of the universe that's alive, and embracing the fact that you are a part of it and it's a part of you. You realizing, you let it know that I know that you are alive and it's alive, and I'm a part of you, and I'm just a particle of you, and you're a particle of me, and everything that's in existence, we're a part of each other, and it's a part of all. We are all a part of the all, and the all is a part of us. Then you accept that you are it because you're a part of it, and then it's really a only word I can use for it is mystical,
yeah.
because it's realizing and not being afraid. You know, you have to embrace what it's like, coming outside of the matrix in a sense, or maybe even going into it. I don't know how a person might
Mm.
look at that. You know what I'm saying? But it's acceptance. When you have come to the point that you realize that it wasn't a man walking in the sky, you at a whole different level. When you come to a knowing that there's no man underneath the ground, then you have come to a complete different awareness, and you have to embrace that. You just can't know it and not do anything about it. You have to embrace it. You have to figure this out. Like, well, okay, then what is it? You have to keep it a ponder in your mind. It is very mystical, because you're saying this is what people you know, have not walked into. Yeah, you do need to meditate because it's like coming into a different reality. Because everything we've known, we've been taught by something that is, I don't know, undone. So, the undone people know these secrets too. Believe me, and they don't want you to know them. That's the reason why they teach you that voodoo is wrong. They teach you that astrology, don't believe in don't believe in numerology, don't believe in this, don't believe in the star, don't believe in this, don't believe. Oh, be afraid of this, be afraid of that, because they know how powerful it truly is.
Mm.
Yeah, I think
I think that that's part, sometimes I think like that's where the trick bag comes in at when cuz when we start labeling, because that becomes part of groupthink. And really ultimately, in my opinion at least, like the power and the journey and the lessons, those are all things that are done in the eye itself, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's human nature. I think it is part of human nature, and I think that's why cults will always be, they have always been, they will forever be, because there's a part of human beings, quite naturally, I think, that we're born with this need to want to belong, right? We want to be a part of something. And I want to believe, I would like to believe that for every single person walking this earth, that their want and their need to belong to something is coming from a pure place. But
Mhm.
that's not true, right? We're not, and I know this might sound spooky to some, and this may not be the place for me to necessarily come out and verify what I'm saying to you guys necessarily with the book. But all I can tell you, just because I am I, and I know my path and my journey. These are things that I could never learn in a university. These are things I could never pick up in the classroom. These are things I can never do like in a book, right? This comes with life experience. And the best experience, really, your direct your day-to-day, on a real day-to-day life, like when it really counts, right? When you wake up and you only got you facing you in that mirror, that's your daily check. That's your reality. That's your reflection. Who are you attracting? Who are these people, places, things that you're resonating to, that are resonating towards you? That's your self check. That's telling you, so my Nana always said to us, you are the sum total of the 3 to 5 people you hang out with the most. The 3 to 5 people right now that you could think of that you spend the most time with, right? That right? You are the average of that, sort of like birds of a feather flock together. And those things change over time. And you would hope that who you are, your journey, your practices, your belief systems, just whatever, like just how you see the world, how you politic with people, how you interact on a day to day. I would hope that how you did that when you were 20 don't look the same when you're 30, don't look the same when you're 40, don't look the same when you're 50, because that shows great growth. That shows maturation. But ultimately everything ends and begins with you, right? And only you are going to make it to the end of the finish line. Now, who you choose to bring with you, right? And those experiences that you are choosing to go through, that's a I talk. That's a self check. It all begins with you. We like to though think that when we start putting labels on things, and when we start, because for most people, we have to do that to have some type of like, to build an experience, right? Like just to pick up on your background, like so. Let me learn more about you, right? Who are you, right? So you start trying to tap in, and so that's one thing. But I think that ultimately, when you are on this, like we say, we like to call it like self journeys and healing and da 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 da, all those labels that sound cute, but when that work really happened, that's some tough work, because that's hard. That's hard to wake up and face you every day, like on some like not the physical, but your soul, like that's hard. And
Mm.
so where you are in life, who you attract, right now, right? So that's today. Who am I attracting to me? Right? That's a direct reflection of where I am in my life, who I am as a person. Those are the daily self checks. And I can come on here and I could sound all, but at the end of the day, it's the people, the places, the things, right? That's the formulation of who I say, and I am who I really saying I am.
And another thing, Toots, because I'm ready to go. And that was
Tori,
really good what you're saying. Treat others the way you expect to be treated. Don't have no evil thoughts about doing and being towards another person. Because rather or not you want to believe it or not, it will come back on you in one way or another. Evilness never pays. Never. It always comes back on you. Or like I'm telling you, it could, or something that when you doing wickedness, evilness, bad thoughts, and you know you're doing something bad, it can come back. And it can come back on your children. People can say what they want to say. But I'm telling you, so try to treat a person the way you expect to be treated. You don't want to be treated mean, don't treat nobody else mean. And be careful with what you do. Just be careful with your actions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sarah said that's the golden rule, right?
Yes, it is. If you don't want nobody to treat you with disrespect, don't treat another person that way. Don't have evil thoughts of trying to do something to another person, because you can best believe when you least expect it. Because a lot of times people do stuff and they don't even ask for forgiveness. And that's another thing. This universe is alive and it hears and sees everything you do. You are part of it.
You know what? And the hardest thing to do, Freedom, right? Because now we talking. We talking about things, right? Now we really talking. And what really the hardest thing to do though, because I don't know if I can finish my complete thought, was that piece of we think that everybody walking this earth is good for us. And you know how I always say skin folk don't make you kin folk, and I believe that. And somebody wrote words of spells. That is an absolute truth. You know,
Fact.
we say things like brother and sister. And I know we say that, whatever. But no, baby, no. Because skin folk don't make you kin folk. That's how I feel. Right? Y'all have heard me say time and time again, find your tribe. Tribe up. That means it doesn't mean everybody. It don't mean everybody. And it is okay to have boundaries. You understand? Because when you're walking in your purpose, when that light is on you, when whatever that gift is, whatever your assignment was, my nana called it a God assignment. That's the talk that I say. I've said it many times on this show. When you are in your God assignment, that is a heavy burden. That's a heavy responsibility. And when you have light in you, you're going to attract all kinds of energies to you. But you can't be for everybody. You wasn't born to be for everybody. You understand?
Dulcinea she's up
You're
here.
not born for everybody, y'all. So it's okay. It's okay to say no, and it's okay to step back. And it's okay to really focus on the I. And when you really do that, listen to that. When you around certain people, or if you are in place, listen to your spirit. If your spirit is saying you need to fall back, listen to that. Don't question
Yes.
it. Because they look nice, because they need my help. No, we had Kofi on a few days ago, right? And she was talking about how to vet properly. How do you vet? Is it just that because I have melanin that we're like-minded, that we're for the same thing? No, that's the trick bag. And for me, as I continue on in mine, my thing becomes like my core. I've been really fortunate. Like my core group has never changed. Like the same Like my the same friends I've had that are my sisters for real, the godmother of my children, in my life for 20 plus years. That's consistency. Everybody can't get all the dots. You got to earn that. Because understand that if I allow you in my cipher and I'm allowing you around me, like that's some real that's good stuff to have. This is quality, creme de la creme. And I'm a very humble person, but at the end of the day, like, and I'm not in my super ego, that's straight facts.
Okay.
So on my journey, what I'm saying is, and this is even I know Fundy is big on this. Kofi mentioned this too. Learn how to vet. And sometimes the people that's closest to you may not mean the best for you. And that's okay. But you wasn't meant for everybody. You wasn't.
Well, I know one thing is I'm meant to go to sleep tonight.
Choose wisely.
I know that's right. But don't see, Anisha, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No.
Elsie might not even be
Oh,
there.
just responding to what Nisha said earlier, as far as with it not not knowing where this stuff comes from. I think it's just like what Dot's is saying. It is very much individual. I think, like there's certain people that they philosophize about, where does all this come from, all this other stuff. I never was that person. I philosophized about me. I was the type of child that was literally like, am I a hologram? Is this even real?
Yeah, I'm
That's
like that
my
too.
perception
See, that's crazy. I am too.
of
Like,
me.
what's going on here?
So I think it's like it just changes whether you are that person that's looked outside of yourself, you're that person that's always looked into yourself, you're that person that thinks they could be hologram and everything's fake. That all is what makes whatever your journey look like what it's gonna look. Whether you are gonna go through the astrology, whether you're gonna go through atheism, whether you believe that you are at one with the earth or there's a spook god, all it comes from is basically your personality and what it brings. And I think Master Fundi Faye said the best thing tonight is that is going to bear fruit. So, is that fruit growing? Is it prosperous? Is it giving you a better life? Or is that fruit rotten? Or is your tree dying? Like, all those are how you can really tell if things are working for you or not. It's going to work for you based on the fruit that you bear.
And I totally agree with that. And I totally agree. And once upon a time, my tree was dead.
Mm-mm,
And when I shook all that shit off my tree and cleaned that up,
Come
and
on,
I
mm-mm.
Nisha.
realized what it really was,
That's right.
I'm living.
Come on, mama.
I'm for
Shake the
real.
leaves off, did you? You ain't shake them leaves off, did you?
I shook all that dead stuff
Shook
off.
'em
Come
off.
All them dead indoctrinations, all them dead lies, all that
Mm,
dead stuff. I shook all that off. So I
shake
totally
it.
agree with what you just said, Dusty. Totally, and that's why I think how I think now, and I'm at peace and I'm free.
Hmm.
Okay.
I
I'm
like that, Niche.
I, I feel free too. And I believe in astrology, numerology. Hell, I believe in a whole bunch of stuff, but it made me free. Just just being who I am, I feel free, Nisha. So I shook
That
off
because
all
freedom is personalized. Sister Freedom. Everybody's freedom just ain't the same. It's a person
everybody's freedom
freedom.
just ain't the same. Ain't that cute?
That's true.
Everybody's freedom just ain't the same. People believe in what they want to believe in, and that's what makes them free at heart and free in mind. And it makes them whatever's comfortable for them. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Today, I'm okay with a whole bunch of stuff. Because I remember at my one time, I argued about God, I argued about Jesus, argued about Muhammad, I argued about a lot of. Now that I like Nisha shook the stuff off the trees, Stop asking questions. But look, this I'm wasting my time asking questions about people that did. Come on now. I only want to say what I want to say. So,
What you
all
told
right.
Lex not? Let's have several seats. And when you talk
Lex,
about standing up, sit down
But can
again.
you pin that freedom? Because
what?
Uncle Leroy's Hoodoo Corner. He been
Where? Knowing we were slaves is
That's
not
no,
not
no,
Lex.
free.
no.
That's
Pin my
somebody
comment,
else.
please, just
But
for Lex about having several seats. Pin my comment just so he just in
Lex,
case.
where is Lex at? I didn't even see. Wait a minute. Lex came through. Lex.
no, that's not Lex.
He's
That's
trying
not
to
Lex.
change the conversation per usual. Talking about nothing that we're talking about per usual.
Lex out again, Lord have mercy. Lex, you always get it. You keep on.
He always tries.
And Bad Ombre came in earlier. Where he at? He go talking about some big mama that ruined the world.
Yes. Thank you to our chat. As
Oh my
always, you guys are wonderful. We appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you guys. Hopefully,
yes.
you've been
We're gonna go
enjoying
to
our
sleep.
guests that's
What
been
time is it?
on.
Well, it's David says where is he? No, Uncle Leroy's Hoodoo Corner. Ain't that something?
That's Lex. Yeah, that's
Girl,
Lex.
that
No,
is
that's not Lex.
awesome.
That's not Lex. His name is King Kaz. That's his name.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm sorry, Lex. I'm thinking Uncle Leroy's was Lex. I apologize. I thought that was one of his pages. So I meant Uncle Leroy, have a seat. And when you think about standing up, sit down again. Lex, I apologize. I thought that was you.
Not
I'm
Uncle
talking to,
Leroy.
I'm talking to Uncle Leroy. I thought that was Lex, one of his
Uncle
pages.
Leroy.
I apologize, Lex.
Leroy, you gonna stop
I think
playing.
that's Lex though, Dulcie. Uncle Leroy, is this Lex or not?
He
No,
said African
they,
slaves brought
Oh,
more
friend of
magic
Lex. He's a
voodoo
yeah,
friend of Lex.
than
Okay.
any
oh,
of
And
yeah,
the
same day.
mystical stuff. Stop
I knew it
playing.
was something. Okay. I
I mean,
apologize, Lex, if you hear my
mythical,
voice.
the mythical stuff, the
I'm talking
hoodoo
to
that
Uncle
you're talking
Leroy.
about was all over the world. Ain't got no specific place. So you can cut it out. The
Mm.
Indians got some, everybody got their own mystical stuff, okay?
He
You can
wants
believe that.
Dulcinea to show her genealogy, and that's what he keeps on writing. It's like we're not doing that right now.
He said, I'm a
right.
friend of yours.
And don't take him no pay him no mind. He talking about African slaves. He done went to Miami and got a Cuban to give him a certificate for
You know
IFA.
what?
He don't
You
know what he talking about.
He need to
That's
sit
know,
down.
Jay
Well, they ain't been
Facts.
using that hoodoo that well.
That's Jay Facts. He has a certificate for some Cuban from Miami that says that he's an IFA priest. And so
Not
he
a
gotta go to
Cuban.
Africa
Where
first.
did that come from?
He gotta make his way to West Africa.
we need to stop his stuff. Be
Take
nice.
my comment down, Freedom, because that's not even
Can't be
not that wasn't Lex. Take my
poor
comment.
Lex. Poor Lex. Well, guess what? Like you said, he got it for something he did that he thought he forgot about. So Lex still you still got it, Lex. For what you did the last time when you was over here.
In advance. He got it already in advance.
You gonna get it. Can you remember them whoopings and you said, well, why you beating me? You tell your grandma, I'm like, why you hit me? She gonna say, you ain't did it? No, I ain't did it. And then she gonna say, well, you getting it, you got it for what you may have done, or what you did, and I ain't know you did it. You got it for that. So you got it for that, Lex. Listen, yeah, but Dulcinea started all that stuff, and now she's running. We prove you were African. Girl, that's on what's his name? I ain't gonna say who it is. On the
Don't even
brothers.
get into it,
No,
girl.
please,
Don't let
You
them
already
don't
know
let them
who it
change the
is or
topic.
anything,
'Cause
but
that's
it's
nothing to
fine
do.
for him to
you
go
know
into
who I'm
that.
thinking it might be.
There's no
Don't
point.
even do it. Don't even do
Yeah,
it.
I'm
I'm not,
saying
because y'all got
there's
in
no
trouble
point in
trolling.
getting into it, Sister Freedom. If they
I'm
believe they
not.
did it, then there's no point of him even bringing it up. He said he proved it, but obviously he didn't,
I'm
since
not gonna
he
bring it
keeps
up.
bringing it up. So it
Not.
doesn't matter whose channel it is. Yeah, we knew, we already knew who channel you were talking about,
Disrespectful
but we don't care.
at all.
The thing.
We is not gonna argue with you. Is what it is.
Very weird masculine energy, if you ask
We
me.
know who that is. You know who it is, right, Dulcie?
He
Mm.
just said who it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
that's King Cass is his name, and yeah, he just said whose channel it is. Yeah,
Yeah, we
ours
don't
do
need to go
that.
into that. Mm-mm.
Oh, he kind of acts like somebody else I know. Somebody
He
you are.
acts like a couple of Pan African brothers,
Mm.
quote unquote. But we'll leave that for another time. All right, listen.
We going to bed now, y'all.
Thank you guys.
The Johnny come late. Troublemakers, please go to sleep. Please, just.
It's a little bit of a troll. That's it. We ain't not getting off topic.
But we do appreciate that everybody came in tonight. That came in to check this out. So we appreciate it. All right, y'all.
All
Y'all
right.
ready?
Good night, everyone. Thank you guys. Oh, do you want to say who's coming up? Or no? Are we not
We're
for
gonna
next week?
we're gonna
Okay.
surprise you.
All right. All right.
Hopefully, we might got somebody tomorrow. I hope he contacts me back.
Okay.
Hey, Mika. Hey. Oh gosh, where's our people? Okay, Sarah. Where Niambi? I thought I seen Niambi in here. Maybe
Yeah,
I did.
in here earlier.
Oh, okay. All right, y'all. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for your time. Peace.
Good night, Indians and Africans.
And everybody in between.
Right.
Good night.
Peace, y'all.